Hello from the United States. When you come to the United States, you will find that food in America is much different from food in Taiwan. There are no night markets in the United States. When people sell food outdoors, it is usually temporary for special events. We never use chopsticks with our American food. I will tell you about American food so you will know what to expect when you come to visit. Here is a picture of a meal we often eat during the American holiday, Thanksgiving. It shows sliced turkey with potatoes and stuffing. Stuffing is made from bread. And on the side is a slice of pumpkin pie for dessert. In Taiwan, what we call the main dish of a meal is usually rice. In America, we usually consider the meat to be the main dish. I think this is because Americans are lucky and can usually have meat at every meal, unlike people in much of the world. Americans usually eat beef, pork, and chicken. In a large part of my country, it is not possible to get fresh seafood because of the distance from the ocean. Even near the ocean, seafood can be expensive, and families may only eat fish once a week or less. In addition to the main dish of meat, an evening meal usually includes cooked vegetables and sometimes a salad and bread. This picture shows a restaurant meal of pizza on the left with a salad on the right. Common cooked vegetables are string beans, carrots, corn, and peas. But sometimes the dish is a mixture of several vegetables all cooked together. Potatoes are often eaten with meals in America and can be fixed in many different ways. I know that in Taiwan you usually do not eat raw vegetables, but in America salads are made of uncooked plants, lettuce, and sometimes things like sliced tomatoes, carrots, and cucumbers. I took this picture in a grocery store. It shows a whole section of food that will be eaten raw as part of people's salads. Sometimes thin slices of meat or cheese also go on the salads. We also usually put a flavored liquid salad dressing over the top to add to the taste of the salad. We sometimes also eat raw vegetables as snacks between regular meals. This picture shows what we call a salad bar in a restaurant. The salad dressings are along the back. Other choices are cheese, bacon bits, pickles, and onions to go on top of the salad. I took this picture in a restaurant with a cell phone camera. It shows a supper meal of roast beef with gravy, cooked potatoes, a cooked vegetable called broccoli, and a slice of bread. Along with the salad, this would be called a hearty meal. That means that it would satisfy someone who is very hungry. For most people, the evening meal, like the one I've described for you, is the largest of the day. We usually call it supper. A meal called dinner is usually a fancier or more formal meal, and it may be served in the evening or sometimes in the middle of the day. Otherwise, the noon meal is called lunch, and the morning meal is called breakfast. For lunch, most people eat a smaller meal than they do in the evening. Sometimes they go to a fast food restaurant and eat something like a hamburger with French fried potatoes, or, as you see here, a hamburger with onion rings. When people eat lunch at home, they often eat a sandwich and a bowl of soup, like you see here. Or lunch could just be a salad that is larger than the salad that goes with the evening meal. Soup in the United States is different from soup in Taiwan. Our soup is often thick and rich with meat and vegetables. This soup is made from tomatoes and still has some chunks of tomatoes floating in it. Sometimes soup is almost so thick that you might think you could eat it with a fork. If the soup is very thick, we call it stew, like you see here. I think that the way Americans like soup comes from our pioneer ancestors who would put all of their spare food into a pot with some broth and let it all cook together. But today, we often buy our soup in the store, as you see here. At breakfast time, some people skip the meal completely, or just eat a donut or a slice of toast. A traditional breakfast is larger, with cooked eggs or pancakes. A complete breakfast like this often also includes some meat, like sausage or bacon. People also often drink fruit drinks at breakfast, like orange juice. And grown-ups often drink coffee with their breakfast. This picture shows a hearty breakfast of fried potatoes, pancakes, and bacon with hash brown potatoes and toast. I'm sorry to tell you that many American families do not often sit down to a complete meal together. Parents and children are often so busy with activities that they only have time for what we call a quick meal. They may eat at different times and even different foods for the same meal. Often this is food that they buy frozen and warm up in the microwave so they can eat quickly with little cleanup. For the same reason, people often go to fast food restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, or Taco John's. Fast food, like you see here, is quick, but often not very healthy. Doctors say that many Americans do not eat in ways that are healthy. Americans have never heard the saying that you have in Taiwan, to eat until you are 75% full. Americans tend to eat too much and eat things that are high in calories and not so good for them. You probably know that most Americans do not use chopsticks. We use knives, forks, and spoons to eat our meals. I practiced a lot using chopsticks to get ready for my visit to Taiwan, but I still don't think I used them very well. When you visit America, you will also learn that Americans have something we call Chinese food, but it is a lot different from your food in Taiwan. In what we call Chinese restaurants in America, you will rarely find fish. Rather, you will find dishes made with beef, pork, and chicken. Sometimes they are very spicy, and sometimes they are mild. Americans also like a different kind of rice from what you eat. In America, every individual grain of rice must be separate from every other grain. This picture shows how we often buy our rice so it will cook quickly. And sometimes the rice is also flavored. We call this fried rice. I have enjoyed telling you about food in America. You may be surprised how different American food is from the food you are used to eating in Taiwan.